But welcome everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is part 4 of the LIB Perspectives Storytelling Series. My name is Jeanette Cape with the Social Light Production. Thank you for joining us again this evening. Tonight we're going to be speaking about the love for soccer. For the love of soccer, we have these two gentlemen here, in which I will introduce a little later. But just want to, of course, quickly talk about last week. We did a Facebook Live with the Woods family, and their conversation was titled "A Liberian War Story." I want to make sure I get it right. They were just talking about their challenges with the war, how they overcame the war and came to America and started a new life. And so with tonight, we will continue with the storytelling, but it will be specific to soccer. It's geared around a Liberian soccer team, but it's a diverse team, and we'll like I said, talk about all of that. But before I go a little further, I'm going to pause for a quick word of prayer, as I always do, and then we will go a little further into the program. So, Father God, even now, thank you for this evening. Thank you for this time. Thank you for these two gentlemen who are willing to come on and share their story and how they are improving the lives for others, for many, and there's so many more to come. Be with all of those who will be watching, that they will see, a different perspective and hear something that could change the way this team operates. Don't know, but there's opportunity, there's networking, there's so many purposes that can come from this conversation. So just cover our time. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
All right, so real quick, for those who may not know what and who a socialite production is, I'm going to give just a quick overview so you can understand the purpose of these conversations. So I am the founder of a socialite production. Our mission is connecting the world through faith, culture, and entertainment. And one of the many ways of connecting culture, faith, entertainment is through authentic storytelling. And so I'm starting with storytelling with my culture. I'm a first generation American. Parents are from Liberia. And so there's so many cool stories and things that Liberians are doing that are not told or highlighted. And so this soccer team is definitely one of them. And so I felt that it would be important to feature them in our storytelling series to help bridge the gap. That's the overall general purpose of this platform. And so without going into further information, of course, if you're interested, you can follow me on a socialite production website, not yet, that hasn't launched yet. Our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And so now we're going to get into conversation with these gentlemen, because I know they're so anxious. They're kind of tapping their feet. So I don't want to hold it up any longer. But we're going to start with Richard. Abu, just hold tight. I'll be with you in a second. But Richard, how are you tonight?
Doing great.
You doing great?
Yeah, I'm doing
okay. So I'm gonna start with you. Just introduce yourself by saying your name and where you were born and raised.
all right. My name is Richard Vincent, and I was born and raised in Monrovia, Liberia, and in like actually in the city Monrovia.
Okay.
Was in West Africa, Liberia.
Okay. And what year did you migrate to the U.S.?
I came to the U.S. in 1988, 98. I'm sorry,
1998. Okay, got you. Okay, and so one of the conversations we had 2 weeks ago was Coming to America, the Liberian story. And I always like for, Africans, of course, for the sake of this conversation, Liberians to tell their coming to America story, because if you're not of the culture, you don't necessarily know the truth. The truth. You look at what Eddie Murphy or whomever experience was. So what was your coming to America experience? And what was your perception prior to coming versus the reality when you actually landed?
Well, actually, we heard stories and we watched movies about America. So it was like we thought like the street was gonna be all golden and stuff when we got here. But I landed in Staten Island and like it was different. It was wintertime and like everything was not the same.
Yeah.
Just to say the streets was not golden. It was a little bit dirty and stuff like that. But coming from a war, it was just like a relief to get away. So when we got
Yeah.
here, at least it was okay. But we didn't see what we were expecting to see.
Yeah. Now, real quick, were you involved in the war, or did your family go to a different location?
Now we was in the war when it started. We stayed there till probably like 2, 3 sections of it. I think the 96, the April 6th war was the one that took us from Liberia to Ivory Coast, then to
Mhm.
Ghana. Yeah, but we was in the war. We kind of like grew up in it.
Got you. Got you. Okay. And so since this conversation is about soccer and you two lead a soccer team, what is your favorite soccer team and or player? Because I know sometimes people follow players and not team, and why?
Um, I'll say for one, I like Chelsea, and the reason I like them. But growing up, we played soccer, but we had an icon in the country who is the president now. So because of him, that was like the main reason why I follow soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And I follow other teams that he went to play for.
Mm-hmm.
But in like '96, when I left and went to the Ivory Coast, I watched this guy play,
Mm-hmm.
and his name was Jafranco Zola. He played for Chelsea, and
Mm-hmm.
I follow him and stay with that team. So that's my favorite team, and
Chelsea.
I still
So you
support.
just skipped your original favorite player and went on to a different team.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do that. But so the last question is, what excites you outside of soccer? 'Cause I'm sure soccer isn't the only thing you get excited about. What is that one thing or person or whatever situation gets you excited and pumped up?
I mean, apart from soccer, as it's my family. When I'm around them, it's like I'm the person that make the fun and joke around. So
Hmm.
I just love to be around family and friends.
Yeah,
Being around people is one thing that excites me. You know.
that's definitely one thing that excites me. I love my family, as everybody knows. So that was a good answer. Well, thank you, Richard. I'm gonna now go over to Abu. Move over to Abu. How are you, Mr. Abu?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing well, doing well. You looking very nice today, this evening. Both of you are. I meant to say that before we started. But
Mm.
so introduce yourself. What is your name? Where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
So I'm Abu Kamar. I'm actually a junior. My father is a senior. So I was born in Charlotte. I was born here, but I was raised in Liberia. So at 3 years old, my dad got a job offer. He played for Barrow and one of his buddies that played for Barrow, which is one of the top teams in Liberia at the time. Um, Invited him back for a job offer, and the whole family went with him. And I didn't come back to the States till 1990 when the war had just started,
Mm-hmm.
and been back ever since.
Okay. Okay. And so, well, you already answered the question. What did you answered the question of when you migrated to the US, right? Just now?
Yes, 1990.
90.
1990.
Okay.
I came back 1990.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you were born and raised in the US. Okay. That
Yeah.
is correct. And so obviously you were born in right well, no, you were born in the US, but then you went to Liberia, then you came back. So after living in Liberia, how many years did you live before coming back?
I lived 10 years, exactly 10 years.
10
So I
years.
was actually like 13 coming back.
Got you. So what was your coming to America experience after being there for 10 years?
The funny thing is, I knew I was born in the U.S. in the states, and going to school like Cathedra, which is one of the schools I went to. Um, I will always tell them, "Hey, I was born in America." They was like, "You lying? You ain't never been to America. You sound just like us." So um, when 1991, my mom actually said, "Hey, we going to the U.S." I was excited
Mhm.
because I heard so many stories, about the U.S. Oh, they got AC outside. It's cold. They can control the temperature. It was a whole bunch of stories that you just thought you was going to somewhere like paradise that
Yeah.
every human being want to end up. Um, God here is, it's a struggle. It's a struggle everywhere, but it's just a different kind of struggle. So, but once you adapt, um, life become a little better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and real quick, just for those who are watching and you guys, I keep looking down because I'm trying to monitor the Facebook live feed just in case questions come in. So I'm gonna try my best to do that. So if you see me looking down, I'm either looking down at that or at my notes. Just want to call that out. But so who is your favorite soccer team and or player and why?
I didn't really have a soccer team growing up. So my dad played for Barrow, and when he got home, he got drunk. He would line up all the kids, and if you wanted to get some money, you had to say the right answer, and the right answer was Barrow. So if you said IE, you wasn't getting anything. So we all knew the answer, so it was Barrow. So anywhere we went, it was Barrow. So I just grew up to that. That's my team from Liberia. But as an adult now, my team is I got a couple of teams actually, Bayern Munich, and I'm a fan of Messi.
Fan of what? I'm sorry.
Messi. He played for Barcelona.
Okay, got you. Cool. It's so funny growing up and even in my, I guess, teenage years or young adult, the IE and Barrow feud was over here in America, right? Because of course, soccer team players get together all the time. I didn't really understand the history behind it, but it's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. But lastly, what excites you outside of soccer?
Wow, few things. I just had a son. He excites me. I look forward to coming home to see him, and he's crawling to me. DJing. I like DJing. I got a passion for music. Mm-hmm. So DJing is a fun hobby that pays. Mm-hmm. And soccer, actually. The soccer field where we practice, you hear all the stories of just where they've been, how the day went, what they're doing. Mm-hmm. When you think you had a bad day, you hear someone else's story, you're like, whoa, that lights you up, So that's also something that excites me.
Yeah. But you cheated because I said something outside of soccer. See, you cheated. You cheated, but you did answer. You said your son.
Well, it's the after the practice, is the vibe, the actual the people that actually play, not so much of the game. Yes. Gotcha. The friendship, the fellowship. Gotcha. Yeah.
You still cheated though, because that's a soccer team. It's not fair. But I'll let that slide. See, Richard had to think, so we got to be fair here. But anyway, that's beautiful. And yeah, in reference to just to call out, Abu is a great DJ. I have a few of my favorite Liberian DJs. Not going to start calling names, but he is definitely one of them. I'm not going to go into it, but he's a very good DJ. So if y'all need somebody to spin, he's your man. But thank you guys for that intro. We're going to get started into the real questions. But before we go into it, I just want to provide everyone with just a high-level overview. They're going to go into their story and what they do. But the reason why I wanted to highlight the two of them is because they move in silence. And that's fine, right? But it's like, I need to introduce you guys not only to the American community and outsiders, but even some of the Liberians that are here in Charlotte that may not know who you are or even what you do. These guys have pretty much a whole mentorship program, like a big brother program, a league, family, brotherhood, like all these things with just the two of their resources. So it's not a formal mentorship program. They don't have a nonprofit, none of that. They do this out of the kindness of their heart. And I'm not even gonna say the kindness of their heart. They do it because they've been called to it. You know how sometimes you do something and it's a lot of work and you're like, why am I doing this? But you get so much fulfillment out of it because you're changing lives. That is what these guys do. And I was just so impressed with them. I said, I definitely have to feature them for the LIB storytelling series. And so starting with soccer, the thing that excites y'all the most, starting with you, Richard, tell us your soccer story. And I said soccer story specifically, so from back home up to the States, kind of talk about when did you fall in love with soccer and just that timeline.
Yeah, so like I just grew up loving soccer because that was the major sports in the country. Like, and as a kid, like growing up, we was playing soccer on basketball courts instead of playing basketball. So yeah, and we like everybody plays soccer. Other guys used to play basketball, but we all like just follow. And like I would say, the two major teams was IE, you out of IE or you Barrow. So except your dad or somebody play for like another team, and you know get behind that team. But so we grew up like that, and we had like people in the country that we look up to that play the game at the highest level, like guys that play on the national team or even play for IE till the president now of Liberia, he stepped up and like he was like the most probably the best player we had.
Mm-hmm.
He made it out of the country to Europe. And that's how like we started following like European soccer. As for me, that's how I started. You know, I followed it all through. Like every team he went to, we had to support him because he was from the country, and he was one of the best. He won like the world best and all that other stuff. And like I said, and growing up, that was I would like you get off school. They even used to like put food down for me to eat. I just drop my books, change my clothes, and I'm gone. You know, we used to get whooping for it, but we still did it. You know, and it was like a thing. Like sometimes, like you got to get punished because you violate and you go play, and they come back like, okay, you want to be the next George Weah, and you get beaten and stuff. But and that's how we started. So we played till I played and I enjoyed it. That was like my getaway stuff. Because growing up, I was a shy person. You know, my family know, but when I get on the soccer field, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen you in action. I've seen it.
person when I get out there. So, you know, it's just a beautiful game, and when you start playing it, it's something. And I just had a passion for it growing up. So I played till like the war started, and it was on and off. So at some point, I was able to get a scholarship to go to high school back home, you know, play for the high school and stuff. And then like the next war that broke up took us out of Liberia, like I said, into like exile. So it
Hmm.
was in Ivory Coast, we had a team we played. I went to Ghana, we had a team over there and we played till I came out here. And
Hmm.
I'll tell you a funny story because when I came, I didn't know I didn't know any difference. It was on Park Hill and it was in February, so it was cold. And I was always out the window looking like, where do they play soccer?
Hmm.
And then this morning I seen like everybody dressed up, but they had like long pants on and then the shorts. I'm like, I don't think they play soccer. It looked funny. And the lady was like, yeah, follow them. But I just put my shorts on and a t-shirt in like probably like a 40 degrees weather. And I went out there and I ran back inside. And I because it was like a culture shock. I had to put my hands under the hot water,
Hmm.
you know, to get it to cool down. And I didn't know it was gonna burn me and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
it's just the passion that we have for it, you know, growing up. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. And you reference, well, you didn't say his name, but George Weah, he's the now president of Liberia, but he was the soccer superstar. And so as a kid, I wasn't even into sports then really, but we watched soccer because my dad played and watched it. So we were fans of him, and we didn't even understand what was going on until the ball got kicked in the goal. So he was definitely an international star. But thank you for that. So Abu, tell us about your soccer story, starting from home in Liberia and coming to the States.
So I always loved soccer from day one, but I wasn't the greatest at it. Um, Actually, my younger sister was. She got a scholarship
Hmm.
with soccer, but I always loved the game. My dad, he always had a brand new pair of soccer boots. Um, Even when he had retired, he had soccer boots under his bed. Um, and I always saw that growing up. Coming to the States, uh, soccer wasn't popular, so to
Yeah.
speak. Went to high school, played soccer, from freshman to 12th grade. When I went to the Navy, I forgot all about it, and the ship had a soccer team, and I decided to join. And I was like the best one on the team, and that passion woke back up. And when I came home, looking for a soccer field, went to school, couldn't find one, started playing. Some of the guys told me in Salisbury, "Hey, we got a soccer team," and I went out there, started playing, and since then I haven't stopped playing. I haven't. I would say the longest I have been since what 2000. The longest I've been without playing soccer probably like a month. So I always have to play, even if it's just practice. It don't have to be a game. I just have to, like, the Jamaican community know me because I practice with them. The Caribbean, they all know me. They're like, Abu. We all play together, and I know a few of them, and we still friends to today. But it just that passion that I had, that I guess my father instilled in me without him realizing he was doing it, just stuck with me. And till today, I'm as old as I am right now. I'm still playing, and I'm playing with the 20-year-olds and keeping up with them.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, me being out on the field supporting you guys, sometimes I see the diversity in age, and of course we'll get into that, but I just love it. That's another one of the things I love about it. And so you mentioned your dad in reference to kind of as a mentor as it relates to soccer, right? But I want to ask this question because I don't want to assume. And so growing up, did either of you have mentors, whether directly or indirectly from someone you saw on TV, whether they played soccer or not? But who did you have as a mentor? And if it was through soccer, talk about what that did for you growing up. We'll start with Richard. Abu, go ahead. We'll start with you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't really have a mentor. It was just something that was instilled in me from a young age. It's just like, I think what the Bible said, well, not I think, but what the Bible said, training up a child in the way they should grow and they will never depart from it. And I think soccer was what my dad instilled in me, amongst other things. And I never departed from it. I tried other sports, but, so I guess it always been in my mind. I didn't need a reminder.
Gotcha.
And I just came back to it.
Got you. How about you, Richard? Who did you have as a mentor? If not in soccer, where?
I mean, like, I can say, like, growing up, because we was already playing, like, just by watching, the older guys play. But I had like a couple of like older guys, like some of them back home now, like, and a few of them here in Charlotte. But no, he was in Charlotte. He moved back, but he used to take me to games. Like, he used to take me to his games to watch him play and stuff like that, just to learn the basic part of the game. And like I said, like, it's like a lifestyle. Like, it provides, like, for young people, self-esteem, friendship, and just opportunities and stuff. So I follow him, but he was the one that I can say he was my mentor, because he was the first person to start taking me to games to watch, games to play and stuff. And he used to talk to me about it all the time. So he was my mentor.
Gotcha. And I asked that question because it's leading into the main question around the Charlotte soccer team, right? Because you guys are very passionate about it, and how I like to describe it is purpose. It's something you've been called to. You do it, even though it's I'm not even going to say it's a burden. It's a responsibility that you don't have to have, but you make it a part of your world. And so growing up, whether you had that or not, there's something that's driving you to provide that for the guys here in Charlotte, right? And so I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions. And of course, this is a discussion, so jump in where you feel the need to. But I'll start with Richard, right? Because the two of you are currently leading this team, but Richard was a part of the team prior to Abu moving to Charlotte, joining the team. And so, real briefly, Richard, talk about how this team formed, like as far as you can remember, and how long it's been in existence.
Um, I mean, if I can say the team been in existence for long as I can remember, because when I moved to Charlotte, they already had a team, and like that's how I was even able to meet some of the people that I knew, like some of the older guys that I knew from back home that I used to watch playing. So like I had to find like the nearest soccer field, the first thing, and I got out there and they already had a team in this the same group of people in Charlotte, like but most of them like older guys.
Mm-hmm.
So and just following them, what they was doing, I think like it just passed down like naturally because
Gotcha.
they like mentoring us. They didn't want us to get in any kind of trouble, go out in the streets and do the wrong thing. It was helping us to get job, or if you want to go to school, somebody like will help you. If you can play, they'll be like, I can take you to this school, and you can go do a trial and stuff. So the team been around for as long as I can remember, and even with Abu, he was in Salisbury, but they had a team, so it was like a rivalry. So he moved to Charlotte, and joined this team, and then like because everybody was here. We actually had like separate teams at first,
Mm-hmm.
and then because it was all like different teams, but we all played like and came together as brothers. By the end of the day, the main reason we did this is because him and myself thought like, you know what? If everybody can just come together and just be one big team and work together because we all from the same place and we try to include other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I came, they had like a international team. It was like club international. It was like different people from everywhere could
Gotcha.
play. Yeah. So, but the team been around for as long as I can
For a
remember.
long, so it's kind of like I guess the baton was passed and someone else just kind of took it over. But did it always have this type of um, system or structure as it relates to being intentional about finding opportunities and jobs and brotherhood and all of that?
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And so, Abu, what year did you come? Did you move to Charlotte and join a team and kind of talk about what? Well, no, you played. Were you a part of the soccer team in Salisbury?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, but what? Okay, what drove you to move to Charlotte to be a part of the team, and then kind of pick up on you and Richard leading the team? What led to both of you leading after you came over?
So when I
And
got
Abu,
out of the
Abu,
military, yes,
real quick, can you speak up just a little? You sound a little distant.
sorry. When I
Yeah.
when I left the U.S. Navy, when I got out, I was looking. Actually, I was going to school, and my school was in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to commute from Salisbury and come to Charlotte for school, but I had a job in Salisbury.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured when I graduated, I wanted to move to Charlotte
Mm-hmm.
because I felt I had outgrew Salisbury. So that's what I did. I moved to Charlotte, I think 2002,
Gotcha.
but I didn't really get involved with it. I was just practicing, but I was still playing for Salisbury.
Gotcha.
So even though
Oh,
my
okay.
address had changed, I was still with the team in Salisbury. Um, it was maybe like 4 years later or so, then I decided to, because the guys from Charlotte were like, hey, you already live here. Why are you still, playing with them? And the team in Salisbury was kind of like, that generation was kind of getting older, and there was nobody kind of, coming in to keep it alive. So I ended up joining Charlotte team, started playing with them, and there was few leaders that took over. There was this one leader that I will say his name, Mikey Mcintouch.
Mm-hmm.
He was like the leader of anything soccer in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
He is who Rich is talking about. He mentored the guys. He set example. Like he would take his last dollar, and buy a good player soccer cleat. You know, he fathered everybody.
Yeah.
And when it was time for discipline, he didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
So when I saw that mindset and I saw his system work.
Yeah.
Club International had exist after he left, and there was, due to politics or whatever, the team split up. Another team was formed, and Club International was, so you had two major teams other than the younger guys had their own team called Hosa. So everybody could see that the team weren't surviving on their own, and they were doing good, but it wasn't the best, you know. So kind of like that, divided we stand. I mean, together we stand, divided we fall. So what happened? The team kind of just died down. You know, one of the leaders had left. He had moved to another state for a job, and the team started dying down. And I think everyone sat around for a year. And you know, Richard, myself, Dupont, we decided like, hey, look, let's just practice. Let's get everybody. Let's forget about what happened in the past, because we are stronger together. So we started practicing, and then it just grew. It just blossomed into something.
Yeah.
To like what it is now.
So it's like you two saw that opportunity, and clearly you saw the benefits of what the team offered. So you just pretty much just pick up the torch and ran with it,
Right.
and which is awesome and a big responsibility. But like I said, you were called to it, your purpose for it. And so, Richard, kind of describe the dynamics of the team, right? Because usually when you think about a team, it's a certain age group. But talk about the team that comes together to play for practice, and then the two divisions and how you guys kind of operate as a team.
Yeah, so like Abu said, because we had like two teams, like it was rivalry. We like bump heads every time we played. It was you know some form of rivalry. I mean, for the game. After that, we shake hand and move on. But so when we came together to form the team, because we got like, you know, now we got like an older crowd, we got like younger guys. So we had to just bring everybody together, and then in one form, we separated, but we still together. So if we got like guys, say from 19, maybe 18 to like 30, and then we that's one team, and then we got a group of guys from 30 and above. That's
Gotcha.
the older team, you know, and so, but it's like a bunch of awesome guys. It's like a brotherhood. When you get out there, you see like the love and
Yeah.
support. Even if something happens to you today, like everybody will reach out and be like, you know, let's call this person, let's go to their house, sit with them, talk to them and stuff like that. And it's all different people. We got like guys from the we got Hispanics guys, we got Americans, we got everybody coming together to play. It's not just an African thing
Yeah.
because that's why I say sports in general, like, you know, bring communities together.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do, like just bring everybody together. And all the guys out there just accept it. Like Abu said, the main thing is not the playing. You know, playing on the field is a different thing. But after practice, sometimes we get done like what, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Be out there to maybe 12, 1 o'clock.
Talking and
Just
cutting up.
talking and having fun and joking
Yeah.
and stuff. So that's one of the main things. I'm a positive Abu. You got my absolute.
Okay.
And one thing, Johnny, before you let me chime in a little bit, and to add to what Richard's saying, if you're not, even if you don't like soccer and you just come out there, you come out there and you see the practice while we were practicing, you will see two guys on the field screaming at each other because this person should have make a play that they didn't. But then after practice, you'll see the same two guys eating in one bowl. So you'll see them eating out of the same bowl. You know, you'll be confused. Like, I thought these guys was about to bite their head off on the field. Now I see them over there acting like they're twins.
Yeah.
So it's a different setup. So the field is where we let off everyday stress.
Yep.
We come out there, we play hard, you give it your all, or whatever you got. And after that, we go back to, hey man, how was your day? How was your week?
Yep.
Whatever happened on that field, we forgot about it.
Yep.
You know, if one team want to brag, they won, that's fine, but that would be gone after like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I can attest to that because I was actually out there last night. I try to go at least once a week or maybe even twice, depending on my schedule. And I just get it's just so entertaining. One, they play a good competitive game, but two, to his point, either they're fussing, like just play fuss, or even they may get a little serious. But afterwards, it's just love for the most part, and they just talk trash. It's like a comedy show, but it's a brotherhood. You just sit back and watch like just what you guys have created, the atmosphere that you created. We'll get into this later, so I guess I probably should stop here before I go too deep into it. But it is a joy to watch these guys play of all ages. Real quick before we go into the next question. So like you guys practice, I think it's 4 times a week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. And so with the games, there's always the guys are always excited to play. They always want to be out there. Talk about the structure of the team, and I guess this is going to be a question combined. Richard or Abu, either one of you can take it, but talk about the structure. Like, how do you keep order and like as it relates to who plays when, the games, the tournaments that you guys play. Kind of briefly talk about that, like an abbreviated version of the guidelines around that.
so I'll start. So when you're dealing with a bunch of people, um, we all know what everybody have heard of is saying African time or Caribbean time or black time, where they're never on time. They're always late, fashionably, on time or whatever. So these guys know they are not getting paid to be out there. So if you left it to their discretion, they will come whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
So we created a system to where if you come late, you'll wait. So let's say I will send a text out saying, "Hey, practice is at 5:30. The ball will start rolling at 6." So you know to be there within that window between 5:30 and 6. If not, the first group of guys that is enough head count to make two teams to start a practice, the other guys will have to wait. And it don't matter if you can play like the president or you as good as Messi. So you will have to wait. So that encourage everybody to get there on time. Then we can figure out, hey, look, okay, this is how we are going to play. We're going to play full field. We're going to play short field. So we get everybody there using that system.
Yeah.
The second thing is, we know that the game can be very intensive. So we try to not let it get to the point where people fight. So we do have punishment, so to speak, that if someone actually throw a fist or someone get to the point where they want to do something to hurt someone else, we do have like, hey, look, you'll be suspended. You can't come to practice, or the new thing we just started, you also have to pay a fine if you do something. It depends on the level of what it is. And that fine goes towards water, book in the field.
And they actually pay the
fine? We just kind of started the fine thing. So we're gonna see how that works, because the suspension is okay, but we need to step it up to let them know how serious it is. That hey, look, zero tolerance, no fighting at all. And like I said, the soccer field is a stress reliever. So someone having a bad day, whether it's their work, relationship, whatever, they want to end it up on the field, and whoever might be in that path, they could try to use that as an outlet, and we try not to let that happen.
Yeah.
So everybody's safety is important.
Yeah.
So so those are the guidelines that we use,
Got you.
for now.
One of the main reasons too I asked this question, so it can be communicated, so if there are any Liberians, Jamaicans, Congolese, wherever you're from, Americans, if they want to play, kind of like, because some teams they treat it as a league. You got to try out, you got to pay to play, you got to do all this. You guys do not necessarily have that. you do have structure, right? Where there's like an order in order to play. But, you know, just from what I even witnessed on was that last night? I was there Tuesday. What was today? Third? No, excuse me. Tuesday I was there. I keep saying last night. It doesn't matter.
Tuesday.
But what I witnessed with my eyes is there was I guess he was a Hispanic a guy that was there practicing on the adjacent field by himself, and I believe he wanted to play, but there were too many guys playing. And so when one of the guys left, I saw one of the guys call him over. He went, threw him a vest, went in and played, and he was playing as if he'd been playing with the team all along. And I love that because it transitioned into the next question when you talk about bridging the gap. And Richard, this question will be for you. How do you guys work towards bridging the gap, not only within the Liberian culture, but in the other communities, because it's a diverse team? And the reason why I say within the Liberian culture, because, you know, guys who are just coming here from America versus those that been here versus those that were born and raised here, but within the culture, it's different mindsets, different ways of life. So let's talk about how you guys work towards bridging the gap with the game.
Yeah, so sports as a whole, not only soccer, it enhances like social and cultural life by bringing together individual and communities.
Mm-hmm.
So like what we're doing is because you got, like you said, we got guys from back home that don't like they here, they might not have like your I know some guys that their parents work and they here. The only means they got to talk to other people is to go on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So we just try to give them like, a breakdown what their dad or big brother would do, tell you like, this is how it is in this country and this and that. And that's why we got like everybody else. And what we've been doing is just using soccer to overcome differences and encourage dialogue
Mm-hmm.
because it's a bunch of diverse people from different culture. So we've been, and I would just say this because when we took over, when Mcintosh left, we had a team still, but it was kind of like, it was a lot of fights and stuff going on even after that. So when we took over, what we try to do is, minimize that. We'd be like, we all brothers. We can't be coming out here fighting. You hurt somebody tomorrow, they can't go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So just putting that into place. When it started, it was rough, but as it's going on, everything is just coming together, and we just love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And so, speaking of that, kind of going into the next section about team mentorship,
yeah.
right? That, well, mentorship slash brotherhood, that aspect that you guys have. Abu, kind of talk about how do you go about facilitating that? Like, I like to say, like facilitating fun or brotherhood. So, with inside of the game and outside of the game, how do y'all work towards keeping that tight?
So, kind of like what Richard said, just piggyback off it. Uh, these guys, when we after practice, some of the guys will either tap me or tap Richard and say, "Hey, look, I just started working here. There's an opening here. Do you know anybody that want to work?" And what we'll do is try to get the message out to the guys on the field, like, "Hey, look, if you're looking for work or you need something, this is where it is." Um, like one of the younger guys, he graduated. The guy who I introduced to you, he
Mm-hmm.
graduated and he don't have a job. So he was we talked, well, he decided this on his own, but he decided to go back for his master's.
Mm-hmm.
And we using that as an example. And his story is he got, he was living with dad and there was a misunderstanding and he had to leave. And one of the older guys on the soccer field took him in with his family. And I'm getting emotional talking about it.
It's
So
okay.
he took him in and mentor him, and he stayed with school and got his degree and Liberian, and now he's going for his master. I'm repeating myself. Um, so and there's another guy, another younger guy who he's going to aviation school,
Mm-hmm.
and once he graduated, he came to me. He hasn't graduated yet. He will graduate in I think the summer of next year.
Mhm.
He said, "Hey, Abu, there's I know you was in the Navy before. I want to go into the military, but some people are telling me not to go because it don't make sense." So
Mhm.
I kind of talked to him and said, "Hey, look, you need to get that under your belt for your benefit, and do your 4 years. You got time. After a year, you will be looking for. You don't get internship with that, with that path. So you have to find your own path, and which is going to the Navy and say, hey, look, I have this certification. Can I be placed in this field? And that's what they'll do. So I told him to keep me in touch with me when he's done, so I can tell him the routes and stuff. So stuff like that. So
Yeah.
when he has conversation with his friends, he's like, hey, oh, Abu said I should do this, and this the route I'm gonna go. And
Gotcha.
those guys are, oh, okay. So I was thinking about the same thing. Let me talk to him and see if he know anybody, or what he think about this. And
Mhm.
me and Richard had this conversation. Hey, look, this is your field. I'm in IT. He want to
Gotcha.
work in this area. You have this conversation with him. So it's back and forth, and it's personal issue also. Like, hey man, I'm having problems with relationship, whatever. They don't go into details, but it will say, hey, look, and we'll say, hey, look, Richard, that's Richard era. You'll be like, hey, look, this is America. You want to go this route, you want to go that route. You don't want to end up here.
Yeah.
So so
So
just that brings the big brother, the
yeah.
mentorship, the friendship also.
Yeah, and that is key, and that will make their performance and their synergy on the field even more. I guess what I'm trying to say, they'll have even more of a tighter bond. So
Right.
it'll be even more entertaining to sit out there and watch them because when you're close to somebody, their energy or whatever is at another level because you actually like and love each other. And again, that's what you two are facilitating. And so that's like the team mentorship side of it. And you also covered some of the success stories that have come from this team. So I think that's awesome. Richard, talk about um, some of the resources. So you're talking about the mentorship, right? And I know you guys speak to them all the time. You try to align them to opportunities. But what are the type of resources that you guys provide to the team? Because again, just to remind everyone, this is not a formal program. They're not getting any funding from this. This is all of their own resources, whatever that looks like. But talk about some of the things that you provide, just like for practice or maybe tournaments or whatever. Can you hear me, Richard?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, I was saying kind of talk about some of the resources that you and Abu provide or try to find for the players because we're linking it to mentorship and brotherhood. So
Yeah, I mean, like as far as resources, we don't have that much. Like, so we just give what we can afford.
mhm.
We come out of pocket most time, like for practice. We've been doing a whole lot, like buy water, we'll buy like, like the practicing bibs and stuff,
Mhm.
like just scrabble, chipping here and there, buy like balls,
Yeah.
going to tournament, we'll call people, like, call them up, like, can I get, this little bit of, I just want to register the guys to play,
Mhm.
we'll contribute and stuff. So that's what we've been doing over years now. Like we just been trying our best to do it. And I mean, to tell you the truth, it's tough. Like you do stuff, you don't have it's not like a non-profit thing. It's coming out of pocket. So you got bills to pay, you got your personal stuff to do. But
Yeah.
just because we love it so much and the help that it gives to other people, that's why we keep doing it. And sometimes we get like a little bit of help here and there. Talk to people that will help us, to chip in here and there. And one of the person I know about that help most of the time is maybe I can say his name, Mr. Manan,
Yeah.
Mr.
Dr.
Mono,
Manan.
yeah.
Yeah.
They come
Dr.
around
McKinney.
every time we ask them for help, they'll help us.
Yeah.
We got other guys on the team in general, like older guys
Yeah.
that for the help.
Yeah.
As far as that, like we just got to chip in. Like every time it happens, they don't hesitate. We'll be like, oh, there's a tournament in Greensboro. It's like $600. Somebody be like, okay, I'll give 200 here. I'll
Yeah.
give $100 there. So that's how we've been doing it. I mean, years in and years out.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, y'all are doing an awesome job with that. And, like I always say, God provides where the need is. You may not know where it's coming from, but he always comes through when you need him to. And so you kind of touched on the next question, which is good, right? In reference to resources. And it also goes into that team support, which to me, that can be a resource. If you're supporting the team, hopefully you're helping them in some way in addition to the support. And so Uncle Manna is one of them that is out there. And to be honest, I thought he was a part of the team. I didn't know that he just comes and just, gives him his time to, be that father figure for you guys. So I think that is beautiful. And that's his heart, because we grew up, he helped to raise us. And so he's always been like that. And so again, you guys in the community doing things you don't have to do. You're doing it because you're called to. And to me, I always align that to purpose. But Abu, I want you to touch on this because I've been out there, and in addition to you all being out there every week, Sis Helena, which happens to be Richard's wife, she is out there every week feeding y'all. And let me just say, the girl can cook. She can cook. I was trying to do my Liberian accent, didn't quite land right, but she can cook. We're out there for one of the big tournaments. And Ty and I, my sister and I were so hungry, and she made cassava leaf. This is, give me 1 second. Let me just think about that memory. I'm sorry. That cassava leaf was so good. I'm not being dramatic just because it was good. So if you guys are hungry, check out Helena. But anyway, let me focus. Talk about what role she's played for the team and how she's there every week and beyond for you guys.
So Helena is a huge role in the whole brotherhood. We have a reason to stay after practice.
Yeah.
Everybody got stuff to do Saturday. They got errands to run and stuff. But everybody look forward to seeing that gray SUV that pulls up in the parking lot. Like if she's not there by 10 o'clock, they start hitting Richard up or hitting me up. Hey, is Helena coming today? Where is she? And then I have to call her, and she's like, hey, Abu, I'm coming. I said I'll be there. So Helena has, she had been consistent. She has contributed a lot as far as just keeping us on the field. That's one. And we use that opportunity to mentor these guys and talk to them and see what's going on with them. Make sure they're not getting off track. Mm-hmm. Helena, like on Thanksgiving, because we practice on every holiday, New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Helena will come out there. She'll cook this big old pot of jollof rice, and she will say, hey, you guys stand in line. We about to eat, and we would just shoot, everybody get their portion, and everybody just eating, we to the point where we ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So she, and she was shocked, she would surprise us. She would say, hey, look, today is free, mm-hmm. And we're like, whoa, everybody putting their money back in their pocket. Mm-hmm. But she, not just that, but even when she go on vacation, it hurts our Saturday practice. Because some people, if they know Helena is not going to be there, they probably won't show up to practice. Yeah. So it's a big deal that she continued to come. And she's like the soccer mom. Mm-hmm. Everybody know her as the soccer mom. Mm-hmm. If Helena is out of town, she don't feel good, everybody's concerned.
Yeah.
So and of course Helena is Richard's wife, but she's like our mom first.
Yeah.
She's like she's like the team mom first.
But what I noticed just seeing her, because some people may say, oh, she's doing it because that's his wife, of course. No, she has a life. She has a business. So I think, again, for her, it's purpose. It's a calling, and she feels good when she sees those guys eating and just, enjoying themselves. And I don't mean to lift her up above anybody else that's supporting and helping the team, right? But I just definitely wanted to call that out because she's literally there every week, and then she's cooking. And now, granted, she does charge a fee for the food, but there's times she doesn't, right? And I'm sure she can probably charge more if it was someone else. Delivery fee, all it's a lot of work that goes into that. And so I just kind of wanted to highlight that because that's a part of the resources and the support that you guys have. That's a blessing. Go ahead.
To add to that, I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
There were other ladies that used to cook. They used to come on the field prior to Helena, and like the first lady, she had moved out of state, and then there was another lady that she wasn't consistent. Mm-hmm. And when Helena came in that gap, we just stuck with it, and it just stayed.
Yeah.
We didn't want nobody else.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. So you mean if, let's say, if I decide to bring Chick-fil-A out there, they're not going to eat my chicken nuggets?
I doubt it.
You doubt it? They're going to throw it back at me.
They'll eat it.
I'll eat my chicken nuggets. I'll dip it in some cassava leaf. Okay, let me move on. So now for the last, oh, go ahead, Richard.
I mean, with the same support system, like I was saying, like, so, like I was saying, Mr. Manning and Dr. McLean.
Oh yes, definitely.
We got him too, like, and maybe the end of this year, we was planning on it, like we did for the tournament. We'll try to have like just end of the year program just to honor them. There's other guys in the team also that help, like older guys. Like I'll just call one name, maybe like Ben Cromar. Ben been around the team since I came to Charlotte.
Yeah.
He's like one of, apart from Dr. McLean and Mr. Manning, he's one of the oldest. But he still come. He works on Saturday. He don't have to be there, but he always say like, I can't miss this. So he'll go to work on Saturday. You leave work and come and play.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come late most of the time. We mess with him like, you always late. And he'll be like, oh, go sit down, man.
Yeah, I know he give it to you.
He's one of the guys that was Edwin Freeman. Like all these older guys, they come around. Even like now, some of the older guys started coming around to play. It's something to help. Like if you don't have time to go to like the gym or go other places to exercise, and you play the game back home, you get overweight, you can come out there and just run.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna stop you from running. It's all just to help with the aspect of it. Because if you run, you help yourself. So
like I think once or twice I came out there, I said, you know what, I'm not, because I work out. Obviously you guys know, but I said, if me and my run group are not running on Saturday mornings, I decided to just do it on the soccer field. And so I did it a couple of weeks ago, and I brought my weights, not realizing when you talk about empowerment, because a part of the mentorship, we're talking about empowerment as well. Now, I'm there to get my workout on now. I'm not there to play around. I was supporting and watching, but then after I finished, there were some kids out there. Of course, they wanted to try it. And so I was teaching them and doing things with them. And then, Uncle Manny came, I was doing weights with them. So it's like, it's so much more than a game. It's a community. It's empowerment. It's fun. It's encouragement. And so I'm going to go a little bit more into that at the end, but that made me feel real good. So I ended up staying out there longer than I should, because in addition to the game, it was just motivating, and it was like a community family feel. So it's just awesome. But anyway, so the last question we'll get into, and then we'll close out. So again, as I said, you guys are doing this with your own pockets and whatever, limited resources you may have from other people. It's not a nonprofit. You don't have grants and consistent money coming in. If you had unlimited resources, when I say resources, that can be monetary, people, equipment, whatever. If you had unlimited resources, how would you utilize it for the team? And so that question is really built around what is your strategy and vision for the future of the team if you had the proper resources. And we can start with the Boo. I want both of you to touch on it, but we can start with the Boo.
Yes, we'd like to have a park.
In the Boo, I'm sorry, speak up a little. You sound faded a little.
We would like to have a park, a soccer field of our own, because right now we rent. Every time we play, we have to pay for the field. We'd like to have our own soccer field with maybe like a building for a restroom and to change and stuff like that. Just so we can have that can be money that we can put back into like getting jerseys and more soccer balls and to accommodate more people to come in because we right now we have an open gate, is an open door. We accept everybody. You love the game of soccer, this is the place to be. We need more jerseys. We need mentorship. We need a solid system that if Richard and myself cannot be there, we still have it going. And to have that in place, you have to have people who are employed, who are getting paid for it, that will take it serious. We don't have that. That would be, a key thing that we will use to get that off the ground, to keep what we have going. I won't say we at a standstill, but we are definitely trying our best. And right now, to be honest with you, if me and Richard, if we don't move our feet, then stuff barely get done.
Yeah.
So we definitely need, we could use like the major thing is we could use our own field.
Yeah, your own field. Yeah.
And Rich, go ahead.
No, I was going to say
Richard
had something to add, but finish your statement.
Yeah, I was just going to say Richard can add to, just in case I forgot something.
Yeah.
I mean, just to throw a little light on what I was saying, like we need our own field, and if we can have like a building, like to start like a mentorship program. I mean, we already doing it, but if you can have like somewhere that will have like some of these kids, even if they got like homework, like if school is giving them a hard time, somebody can go in there, talk to them, help them, have somebody to teach them and stuff, help them with the schoolwork. And because maybe I'm going back, but most of the kids, sometimes you will know somebody if you hang with them like almost on a daily basis. We hang with them like maybe 4 or 5 days a week. So like somebody that's real quiet, he get out of character, you got to pull him to the side and be like, what's going on in your life?
Yeah.
And they will talk to you. Most of these kids, they just need somebody to talk to them.
Yeah.
Or else they might be going in the wrong direction. And maybe we miss up on that. But back then when we had the team here, like the soccer real helped a lot of these kids because some of them was trying to be in the streets.
Yeah.
When we stopped what we was doing for that brief period of time, one of them got in problem and ended up going back home. He got sent back.
Yeah.
So if we have like what we need, if we can have a field with a building and stuff like that, and just like, it's kind of, we can have people help us do stuff that we're doing.
Yeah. One thing y'all both forgot to mention is money. You have that money, you can buy equipment, you can pay for the games and just all of this. In addition to money though, you just need the proper resources to be able to operate as a team. And as you said, primarily like a building, right? So, but I am a true believer that if you continue to operate in purpose, like there's a show that's called Field of Dreams. I think that's the name of the show. And it was like a voice that said, where it whispered, I'm going to sound corny, but I just want to say how the voice was saying. It was like, if you build it, it will come. And it was like this in the ear of the man that kept hearing like, what do you mean if I build it, build what? And so he didn't know where the money was coming from, how he was going to do it. But the voice kept saying, if you build it, they will come. Excuse me, they or it will come. And so that's what I will say to you guys. You've built it, you've done the work. When I say you've built it, you took the baton and you're carrying on with it, right? And you build a little additional structure and opportunities for these guys. And no hard work goes in vain. And so I know you guys, first of all, I just want to thank you guys for coming on here because truth be told, this is not something I think they necessarily wanted to do initially, but by me saying, you guys, y'all got to come tell your story, whatever. So you leave it to them. They would not necessarily be on here talking about it. But I said you had to, one, because it's a great story to share. And two, y'all may not do it, but I will. This is a Social Light production, and I am calling all servant leaders, all people with any type of resource, foundation, money, buildings, parks, contacts, whatever it is. If you guys can help Abu and Richard with the Charlotte soccer team in any way, you can send an email to charlotte.soccer.family@gmail.com. Even if you're interested in just finding out more about the guys and what they do, or what I will encourage if you're interested in even coming out to the games. So while this is practice, it's also a game. And so anybody can come out. You don't have to be Liberian, as they said, primarily it's Liberians on the team, but there's other groups and cultures and communities that come out. What they don't have a lot of is support, like on the sideline. And I've noticed every time that I've been out there, or my sister, or maybe a couple of others, it does something to their morale, like their energy. It's kind of like, oh wow, we got fans now. Now we have to really play. All of that is empowerment. So even if you don't have money to give, you just want to support and stand and cheer them on, it goes a long way and makes a difference. So I'm going to put this information in the Facebook Live chat. But again, if you're interested in helping in any way or just supporting by showing up, charlotte.soccer.family@gmail.com. They practice every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the Mallard Creek Park. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then on Saturdays at the Harrisburg Sports
Harrisburg Park.
Yeah. Now, well,
Harrisburg Park.
Well, no, if you say because Alex had told me Harrisburg Park, and I was going way on another place. There's a Harrisburg Park, and then there's a Harrisburg Sports Complex. You guys are at the Harrisburg Sports Complex off of Harrisburg.
Yeah.
I just want to call that out because I don't want people going to support and they're going to a different park and don't find you all. But primarily, if you're interested, please just send them an email, and they will be happy to respond and get back to you. But before we close out tonight, Abu or Richard, is there anything final you want to say or leave us with?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you, Jonathan, for bringing it out there, because I'm not gonna say it's like stereotyping, like growing up back home, a lot of people thought like soccer players like they amount to nothing. I'm gonna just say it. But the thing is, what I was gonna say in general, like the kids, bringing the kids out there it help us a lot, because when the kids are out there, it's grown men. They're running like the adrenaline rush, and they want to say something. They're gonna think like, "Oh, there's a little kid outside. I can say what I want to say."
Yeah.
So you calm like certain words down. Or if you just like some on Saturday, you want to take the little kid out of the house to get fresh air, bring them out there. They can run. It helps them too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just to add before Abu goes, that is key, because you're talking about mentorship without even trying. Like growing up, we would, with my older sister or cousins or just people, we all were together as a community. So while sometimes you want to call separation, those younger kids are looking up to the older kids, right? And so even there's this one particular kid, I just love him so much because he gets so excited when you cheer him on. I forgot his name. He was there on Tuesday. So I was like, show me how you kick the ball. And I was acting like I didn't know how to kick it. And he was doing his thing. And so then now he was just running and think he's a soccer player. And so as he continues to grow, who knows, he may be a soccer player, but I'm not the only one that does that. But I just get a kick out of him because he gets so excited and get motivated. He's motivated when he's out there. So, but Abu, anything you want to leave us with or mention?
I just wanted to also thank you for the opportunity that you provided for us, the exposure.
Yeah.
And also to whoever's listening, we invite you to come and play with us also.
That's
we want you guys out there. Come and play soccer.
Yeah.
It's a universal sport.
Yeah.
So, and we all speak the same language. So come out there, have fun. You'll be impressed.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And the only time that I play is when the ball rolls my way and I'm like, it's my time to shine. Kick it. So I play too. I play too. But
Mhm.
again, I'm going to end this with charlotte.soccer.family@gmail.com if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for joining. Of course, Abu and Richard, and those who are watching and those who will watch later. Next week is the last conversation for the LIB Storytelling Perspectives series. And you definitely don't want to miss this. I'm not going to announce it yet. I'm going to add some suspense. I'm being extra, but seriously, I will be announcing it soon. But that is the last conversation. And so tune in to a Social Light production page. Continue to follow us, and you will have all the updates. But you guys have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.